I'm Jennifer Angel, and this is my weekly message. A few things happening this week which are noteworthy and coming up. Finally, Mars is going to come out of its retrograde movement on April the 14th. I know that still seems like a long way away, but it's not. It'll be here before you know it. Can you believe it? We're already on week commencing March the 26th. It's like mind-blowing to me. I seem to have moved, gone on a very short vacation, and come back, and it's like, oh my God, it's like it's already the end of the first quarter, and I have so much I want to accomplish this year. So anyway, it'll be here in no time. So the other things that are happening next week, Mercury comes out of its retrograde movement. Now Mercury is sitting in Pisces. It went transited back into Pisces. It comes out of that, I think, the 4th or the 5th, and then later in the month, around the 25th, we'll go back into Aries. Okay, now for this week, there's a very nice connection between Venus and Mercury. So I've mentioned it to most of the individual signs because, of course, it represents a different area of life for each sign, and of course for some signs there's a little bit of overlapping as well. So these two together really sort of bring communication with partnerships and relationships together. It's very nice, but do keep in mind that Mercury is retrograde. Okay, so and what does that actually mean in this situation? It means that you want to be you want to remember that listening and talking are both very much part of communicating, and you want to make sure that you're not sort of moving forward too quickly and doing something sort of too rash. So it's always best to sort of sit back and watch, listen and learn and see what happens. And remember, as I always say, life is a chess game, and you have to wait for your turn. And in that sense, this is where that saying comes from. It's all about timing. Okay. And the other thing with Mercury retrograde, of course, is you want to watch the details of what's going on, and read the fine print and read between the lines and all that. Okay. Now, let's have a look at what else. There is a square between the Sun and Pluto. Now, this can be like a real power struggle, particularly as the Sun is in Aries. So, Aries is like, the leadership sign, and it just gets out there and goes for what it's want. Aries loves a challenge as well. And, of course, Pluto is sitting in Capricorn, and Capricorn is steadily, it's like the mountain goat steadily climbs up the mountain, just keeps the end result in mind all the time. I mean, if it's one step back, 2 steps forward, doesn't matter, we're still progressing. So, and the Capricorn being in the 10th house solar position is all about business and career and building things up. So there could be both strong signs, could be like a real power struggle here, so be careful of that. There's also a hindrance of trying to express yourself and to express yourself in the way that you want to get the words out. It's like the more you say, the more complex it becomes. So some foreplanning on what you want to do this week and what you want to achieve is a very good idea. To sit down, write the 5 top things that you really want to achieve for the whole week, and put them down, on the top of your computer on a little sticky note or in a journal, or wherever you can see them, and just stay focused on those 5 things, so you don't go off on a tangent, and just keep working through them. Okay, so that's probably good advice for you this week. So, because spring is here, sun's out. It's certainly out here in New York. I'm looking out my window, so it's it's a gorgeous day. My puppy loves the weather. He's starting to acclimatize in New York, coming up from Miami. So things are good. Life is good. Remember, life is full of situations that support and challenge us, and both are very necessary in our life. And it's important to not dwell. I mean, it's certainly challenging situations are part of our life and we need to work through it, but it's important not to dwell on them. It's what we put out on our thought level. The more positive and affirmative that we can put out for the things that we want in our life and we want to attract in our life for ourselves and the people we love and on a global level, is what will come back. Never underestimate the power of your thought, the power of one person's thought. Okay, love and luck to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.